Welcome to P&B Sports Show here in Abuja. And of course, I'm here with Queen, the media officer of River Opers. And you know, River Opers have been doing so well at Morocco, 2 out of 2. And of course, yesterday I believe that in Port Harcourt, nobody could sleep. Queen, good morning. And how is Morocco this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Morocco is good. Thank you very much.
I saw you guys when you got down to Morocco, I think last week, you guys were putting on jacket. Is it that cold in Morocco?
Yes, very cold. Very, very.
And heat won't kill us here. How I wish we could just exchange weather.
Uh,
Okay, let's dive into the conversation. Queen, fantastic. River Overs has been making us proud so far. But yesterday, my heart was in my mouth when I was watching that game, third quarter. What really transpired? Can you just put us through?
well, I won't say anything major transpired. Strategies in a game are meant to be changed, and then your opponent will definitely want to counter your strategy. We knew quite all right we were not going to find it easy playing against the home team. You're not just playing against the players on the court, you're also playing against the bench and also the crowd. So it was tough. And then if you even notice, we had very poor shooting from the free throw line. So at every point, our player steps on the line to go for the free throws, you hear boos and just noise just to distract them and then turn out their focus for them to have those misses. And we're really having a lot of free throws. So, but it was not just the great day for us. So we knew the challenge was ahead of us. And top quarters are always perceivably like that in basketball games, where you go into the locker room to go and re-strategize. Whatever the strategy they had early in the game had been countered by us. So they had to re-strategize to come back better in the third quarter. And they were downing those threes against us. So, but at some point, their defense was quite compact than ours, which I really kind of commend them for. They did so well defensively because for each time they tried to score, and when they run back to their defense, we couldn't score. So it was kind of a challenge for us, actually taking advantage from having those reverse shots in the paint and all that. But it is what it is. It's basketball. At the end of the day, you're not going to find you rosy. There are some games like that you have to dig really, really deep to get wins. But at the end of the day, we are happy that we still got the win.
Okay, Queen, how do you feel about the composition of Hoopers this year? Different identity, couple of new players. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel good. The recruitment this year is better, and the players that we've gotten this year is kind of an upgrade to what we had last year. I know last year people really wanted, from last year, people really wanted to have Will Perry back.
Perry, exactly.
But yeah, we couldn't have him back. Yes, we would have really loved to because he's a leader on and off the court. But at times, there are some disappointments that might be a blessing to you, especially when you intend to go far or intend to achieve a particular goal. Yes, Will Perry would have been great for us like he was great for us last. But last year, for us, behind the scenes, or for us, we also knew the areas we had to cover up for him. Yes, he's great offensively, but
defensively,
he's not great defensively. It's not great. So, which the replacement we had this year, the point guard we had this year, kind of cover at both ends. Yes, he might not be that really great shooter like Will Perry, who shoot every center of the court and also very good from the free throw line and hardly misses. But I think for defensively, it makes up for Will Perry. Unlike last year, where we had to have a cover for him, Kelvin had to do a lot of work defensively to cover up. Peter had to do a lot of work to cover up defensively for him, as well as John. So, but this year, we also know that as Maxi is going on the offense, he's also going on the defense. So that's a good cover. That's a good upgrade. Because when your player can think from both ends of the floor, you kind of have that confidence that other players can focus on their own duties and mark the players they're supposed to mark, and not just try to help you cover where you can also do the job. But also not to forget that Maxi, who we brought in place of Will Perry, who moved on, outside of the fact that he's also great defensively, offensively he's not terrible. He's also a very good player offensively, because he's someone who picks his shots. It doesn't just like,
Shoot.
unlike Perry, who can close his eyes and go for those three. He will have to be kicking. So rather than go for some shots, he would rather get an assist from a particular pass that he will get. So he would rather give a pass than go for a shot when he's not sure of getting that. Except maybe he's the extra man or he's the last man, then he might try to go for both shots. So he's very picky, and he tries to run those plays and run the court. So he prefers to do that rather than just go for the shot like what Perry always want to do, or sometimes try to pass the ball as much as he can. So it's just an upgrade for what we had last year. We also missed out on Divine. We've seen what Madrid has done. Back to back games. He has had a double in 2 games. That's really huge. And that's the same thing for Divine. Divine, yes, is expressive, very good offensive player, goes for the dunk, the alley-oop and all that. But Madrid is someone that is goes for those sneak shots. You might think he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
You might think this guy cannot really score. But before you know it, he has given you those threes that you never thought would go in. He has tried to go down the paint, and then he's giving you those layups from the side, from the baseline, and you see that happening. So and also for Madrid, defensively is great as well. So this is like an upgrade from Divine. Divine is not so good defensively, but Madrid is great defensively. So but it's an upgrade from what we had last year, and I'm kind of happy with what we have so far. 2 out of 2 doesn't come easy. It might look easy on paper, seeing it written on paper and on the screen, but the work put in both behind the scenes and on the court is a whole lot. So it's something to be happy about.
But that's a statement, isn't it? That's a statement.
Yes, it's a huge statement. Yeah, it's a huge statement. Yeah, it's a huge statement because you look at the conferences at the moment. Calari conference is the toughest. That's the truth. Calari conference is very tough. You cannot pinpoint that. You can actually say, okay, Alitia to qualify. The home team, because they're the home team, First Rabat, they'll qualify, and the other 2 will battle for the 3rd place. It's not looking like it, because I know that when they got us to this conference, they would have thought that it would be tough for Rivers Hoopers getting out of it, because everyone would have tipped the 2 North African teams to go through ahead of us. But 2 games, 2 wins, that's a huge statement. And Egypt on Tuesday, that's tomorrow. They would have at the back of their mind that we will not find it easy with these guys.
Yeah, like these guys.
Africa, we'll have to bring more than just our A game. We thought it was going to be easy for us to just sweep away everyone, but you have to dig real deep, real deep. So it's a huge statement, not just to teams in the conference, but even teams to other conference, because at the end of the day, the qualifying teams from here would meet up when they get to South Africa for the playoff.
Madog Akes was fantastic yesterday. Kevin Amayo was fantastic. Madog dropped 25 points. Kevin Amayo 23 points. Even down to Peter Olisemeka 12 rebounds. And I think that was the defining moment, because those rebounds that were picking, the size we have under the paint there, I think that was the defining moment for us. Don't you think so, Queen?
Yes, for a team who has size, like Rabat, not even as much as Altia. Altia will be worse because they have a lot of players with size, because they're even much bigger in size than Force Rabat. But Force Rabat do have size as well. Especially in the 3rd quarter, it was difficult for us to deal with Zuita. Zuita is the captain of the Force Rabat team. It was difficult dealing with his size. It was tough. But I think he also got tired. Apart from that, he also had like 3 or 4 fouls, so he was also watching his foul, not to go into foul trouble and get fouled out, and it's -1. When you take out Zuita in your paint, it's going to be really tough for them defensively. So, but having players Peter Olisemeka getting those rebounds, for also Madrid to get those 11 rebounds, it was huge. The second chance points really helped us. That was the defining moment for us. It really helped us. If we had not gotten those rebounds, it would have been trouble.
Yeah. when Raphael Putney got 4 fouls at the third quarter, and I see trouble there because when he got out of that game, that fourth quarter, because it was Coach Ogo need to take him out so that he will not get the fifth foul. So when he got that fourth foul, you could see the progress, and Raphael was I think it was very instrumental on our offense yesterday. Don't you think so, Queen?
No, go again, please. Your question.
I said when Raphael Putney, when he got the fourth foul at the third quarter,
Yeah.
that was where our defensive this becomes so porous, because and even offense, Raphael was he was very instrumental in our offensive play yesterday. And when he got out, and with his size, he's very sneaky as well. With his size and stuff like that, the height rather, you could see that we started having some kind of little problem. If not for the fourth quarter when we now had to stabilize and come back stronger, and with the kind of performance Kevin Amayo had to show at the last quarter. And Kevin Amayo, that reminds me, also started very slow, but he came out very strong at the last quarter.
Yeah, that's basketball for you, and that's why coaches don't really wish or hope that their best players get on fouls, because when you go on foul trouble, it might be a defining factor or determining factor either for you or against you. When a team or a key player from your opponents fouls out, it's a big one for you because you take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And same thing, you want that to happen to you. So it was kind of a defining moment for us as well. But I like the fact that coach had to change his strategy in as much as he had to bring him out. His replacement had to step up. He knew he had to step up. David Ike who got in, who had to come also had to step up defensively, picking up some rebounds in that game. So it was also crucial for us. And that is why you need a very good bench. If your starters are having going into trouble, fouling out or getting into foul trouble, you need capable hands or capable players who can also step into the shoes and do what you are doing. It might not be exactly what you are doing, but close to what you are doing. If they can just handle it defensively and the others take care of the offense, you are still great. But when there is no one to fill into those shoes, that is when you will have a big problem. But I'm happy that David was able to come in and also pick some crucial rebounds in that game, and it really helped us.
So what's your prediction for tomorrow's game? Do you think it's going to be very tough?
Yes, to be very tough. I like being a realistic person, even though I'm the media officer of the team. It's going to be tough. Like I've always been saying since the conferences were out. I've always said it is a tough conference. We'll have to dig so deep to get wins. For Stade Malien, I knew that we had the edge over them. It was just like a scrappy start because it's the start of the competition. So I knew playing against Stade Malien, I was like, this Stade Malien, we can get 2 wins out of them. But if we can get 1 win from First Rabat and Al Ittihad, we're absolutely fine. Like 4 wins would be so great to qualify you, because I don't want to be. I don't want us to finish third, because if you finish third, you have this uncertainty moving all around you. That is the truth. You have to wait what happens in the next 2 conferences. That means you have to wait till the ending of May to see.
It means that your destiny is no longer in your hands anymore.
Yeah, not in your hands. So when you finish top 2, you are well assured of going to South Africa. You can now train, focus, and all that. But you are not so sure. You don't know if you can bring your guys to train. You don't know if they need to come back early to train and then prepare for Pretoria. You don't need if you need to put up your phones together to make sure that you prepare well. All of that, there are a lot of uncertainties. So, but we don't want all that to happen. We want to get the job done. Our target is qualifying among the top 2. If we win the conference, perfect. If we don't win it, we finish second. It's still perfect, because it means that we've sealed our win place in the playoffs in South Africa. So, but tomorrow will be tough. It will be tough as well, even more tougher than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, I think what made that one tough was because we are playing against the home team. The home soccer. I don't really like complaining about officials, but I can tell you that yesterday's officials at some point were terrible. That is just true. I don't know if they were just naturally terrible, or because it was home support.
influences and stuff like
Home
that.
support, yes, maybe home support kind of tilted some officiating decisions and all that. But like my coach told them, you have to play against the refs.
Yeah.
You know you are playing against the home team. You should expect this. When we played against APR, we knew what we expected. When we played against AS one last year in Senegal, we knew what we were going to expect. So you don't expect you don't necessarily have to pay the ref to say you are bribing the refs. No, but it's just like a mental thing. You know that it's a home team. The crowd itself can influence a lot because you think, oh, this guy is being fouled, but naturally it was not just fouled. And for them to take a second review and watch, they'll rather not take a second review. They'll just stand on the grounds that that is the decision they've taken. So, but I think this won't be different because tomorrow on, we're not playing against the home crowd. We are playing against a very good team. A very good team with size, a very good team who are very good shooting the ball, very good defensively as well. They have very good bench. So you are playing against an all-round team. So, but for you to be the best,
Beat the
you have
best.
to beat the best.
True.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay,
That's
okay,
the thing.
as we wrap up, Queen, what is the spirit right now in the camp? What is the spirit in Upa's camp right now?
Um, well, it's still high on confidence. Like I was privileged to be in the locker room right after the game. I could see all of them hyped up. Like we can do these guys. Four more to go. Four more to go.
Yeah.
They're taking it one game at a time. We're not looking ahead of ourselves. We're taking it one game at a time. Every game has its own different strategy. The strategy for the previous game is not the same thing. And I'm also happy about the fact that the management taught it really well. We did the same thing last year. We had a video analyst
Okay.
who always analyzes our games and analyzes our opponents and their previous games and sends us videos and points out areas that we need to do better, players that we need to mark, players that we need to make sure they don't go into their comfort zone and then don't give them space. But I know that some of that happened yesterday, which I can excuse them because players will get tired. That's the truth. Even in football, no matter how you want to do your strategy,
They are humans now. They are not robots, so they still get tired. Yeah.
If you say you want to run at both ends of the field and do marking and mark all through at both ends of the field, you will get tired. That's the same. You want to do massive attack, massive defense, you will get tired. Or you want to pack the boss like athletics, you will still get tired. You will concede at some point. So that is allowed really because they are humans, they'll get tired. But that is why in basketball games there's room for you to have timeout, re-strategize, see how you can change a bit of the strategy, rest a bit. For that 2 minutes is for you to rest a bit, re-strategize and get back. So it's kind of excusable. So I'm happy that the management taught it wise this season as well. It helped us last season. We still have our video analyst back again. So for every game has its different strategy. So tomorrow will definitely be a different strategy because we are coming up with players with bigger size, who can rebound the ball well, who can shoot the ball well. You take out one player from the starting lineup, you still have another one on the bench who can still do the same thing as good as what the other person has done. So it's going to be a crazy game tomorrow. But what I would expect our local guys, our domestic players, to be able to step up when they are called upon. So that's what we'll be counting on.
All right, then, Media Officer Queen of River Opas. I want to thank you very much indeed for giving us an update from Morocco about River Opas on the ongoing African Basketball League in Morocco. Thank you so much, Queen. And I believe that hopefully we are going to still call you on Wednesday to talk about this game. Hope you are going to give us that time to come on the show on Wednesday morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I wish us a very good game tomorrow. I believe that we're going to win by God's grace. Thank you so much, Queen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're just talking to Queen, the media officer of UPAS right there in Morocco. Just gave us an update about the game that just went down rather yesterday. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back, the principal team will be live here on the show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's PMV Sport right here in Abuja. And I'm live with the Principal Tin all the way from Lagos, a sport analyst. Principal Tin, how are you? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Hebe. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How
How
is
is
Lagos this morning?
Lagos is doing all right. The weather is cool.
Oh,
The
that's
morning is like
nice. But it's not that cold here. It's hot here in Abuja. I don't know what's going on.
well, it's not really cold, but cool per se.
Okay,
Just cool.
okay,
The weather is
okay,
nice.
okay, okay. Okay, the party. Let's go into let's go into the Premier League and let's dissect what is really going on. And I think it's getting interesting in the Premier League right now because if you look at it, Arsenal dropped point on Saturday against Everton. I think they drew 1-1, and we're looking at that all things is being set for Liverpool to capitalize and stretch the lead, and Liverpool had to now lost. They lost to Fulham, isn't it? Yesterday, 3 goals to 2.
Yeah.
What is the problem, or what is, I don't know, what is wrong with Liverpool, or what is wrong with Premier League? Because I'm just trying to get all these things together. How can you explain this?
Well, first of all, I don't think it's a case of anything wrong with any of the teams actually. To begin with, I would say Liverpool have got into that stage in the season where they are meant to have one or two hiccups. You understand? They
Yeah.
started the season very well. They've been very effective, dominating teams left, right, and center. But then it's almost impossible for you to run through an entire campaign without having one or two roadblocks. You
Yeah.
understand? The only team that was able to do that successfully was Arsenal's Invincibles back then, and since then it's been somewhat difficult for any other person to achieve such feats. Bayer Leverkusen tried it last season. They tried going unbeaten, but still, towards the latter stage of the season, they still lost a couple of games, lost the Europa League final and the likes. So for Liverpool, it's not a surprise that something like this is happening. It all started in the Champions League, where PSG humbled them, and then they came back to the Premier League, struggled in one or two games. But to be honest, the loss yesterday to Fulham was a very surprising one, because if they had won that game, it would have almost definitely mathematically secured the Premier League title. But hey, it's still one of the reasons why people say the Premier League is the most competitive in the world. I know people, when we make these statements, people say look at the past 4 or 5 years, Man City have just won it easily. No, it is not just about winning the title. It is the fact that anybody should beat anybody.
Mm.
That is the joy of the Premier League. If you watch the La Liga, you can most definitely say, okay, oh, Barca or Osasuna, Barca should beat Osasuna. You
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
But in the Premier League, if you like, combine Barca and Real Madrid together, you don't know what will happen. All of a sudden, a Southampton that has nothing to play for will just pick up money and say, you know what, we want to just make these people's day bad, and then they lock shop and score one goal, and then all of a sudden the game is over.
Mm.
So that's the beauty of the Premier League. But I think Liverpool, first of all, I would say a couple of their players are starting to have a bit of confidence issue, especially Virgil van Dijk himself. The big man at the back, the captain, he hasn't been quite impressive over the past few games, and that is what has really, affected Liverpool. Defensive errors. In terms of attack, Liverpool are always a threat, right? But I think their defensive vulnerability have been exposed over the past few games. And for the first time in a very long while, Liverpool conceded 3 goals. In fact, that was the first time since 2020 Liverpool conceded 3 goals in the
Mm.
first half of the Premier League game. So it shows that people are starting to figure them out, and one or two players are starting to lose focus, have fatigue, and all of those things. But overall, credit has to be given to Fulham as well. The likes of Calvin Basti, Alexi Iwobi. Iwobi, I have to say, in that game it was absolutely impressive. His performance yesterday already made him the only Nigerian
Yeah.
to have 30, 30
30
goals and
goals,
30
yeah, an
assists.
assist, yeah.
Yeah, 30 goals plus, 30 assists plus. So it's a fine one for him. Calvin Bassey solid at the back as well. He kept the likes of Darwin Nunes, Jota, Salah. He kept them at bay. So credit has to go to Fulham though for their fighting spirit. Fulham as well are fighting to enter Europe. So it was a very crucial game. But regardless of the loss, I don't think it's going to affect Liverpool from lifting the Premier League trophy. We can all say with our full chest that it's definitely done, because
Which is the dirty,
Arsenal are almost like, I don't want to compare them to Atletico Madrid, because Atletico Madrid would keep you on your toes more than Arsenal. Because the way Liverpool lost yesterday, if Arsenal had probably, gotten 3 points against Everton, people
yeah,
can still say, "Oh, can
yeah,
we
it's
have
good, yeah.
You understand? The few talk say, yeah, maybe we fit get one or two vivid imaginations, say one or two things will happen. But hey, Arsenal is not that team that you can bank on now. But overall, I think it was a good Premier League weekend.
Well said. And let's move over to before we talk about the top four, let's move over to Manchester Derby. It does not look like it yesterday because Manchester Derby always see the two Manchester team, probably one fighting for the title or the other one. But now this one is even trying for top four, while the other one is even down 13th or 14th on the table. what 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 do you make of it? Make of it, the principal thing.
Well, first of all, I think everyone has been saying the Manchester Derby was boring. It's the worst we've seen. It's the worst we've seen. But I don't think, for me personally, I don't think it was that. I watched the game from start to finish, and it was, for coming from a Manchester United perspective, it was a very an interesting game, enthralling, filled with so much attacking play. Maybe from a Man City perspective, it wasn't a good game because they were unable to create chances
Mm.
and trouble Manchester United as much as we know a normal Man City would do. But regardless of that, I think just like you rightly mentioned, the forms of both Manchester teams haven't been good. United languishing in the bottom half of the table. Manchester City in what seems like ages, they are fighting to make top four, something that no one envisaged at the start of the season, right? So, but regardless of that, I wouldn't still say the Manchester Derby didn't give us the expectations, because first of all, Ruben Amorim is unbeaten against Pep. So
Yeah.
obviously, coming into that game, while watching that game, I observed that United, in as much as they were the more attacking team than Man City, United were more defensive than Manchester City, because City had all of the possession. It got to a stage in that game, Manchester United played with a back six, a back six. So it shows you that Ruben Amorim came into that game. He used to say, in his mind, it was like, you know what, we are going to use counter attack to open up Manchester City, which was what they did. But they were just unfortunate; they couldn't convert, right? So I think from a Manchester United point of view, Ruben Amorim would be so proud with his boys. That, okay, you guys stuck to the game plan, and it was a good one overall.
At
But
least they
for the
got at
neutral,
least they got 4 points out of 6 in this test
yeah,
from Man City. At least
come
they got
on.
4 out of 6.
Yeah, the first leg went to the Etihad,
Mm.
defeated Pep. In fact, it was a comeback.
Mm.
Imagine you doing a comeback on Pep at the Etihad, and then now at Old Trafford on the norms. I think one thing people need to understand is this: under Eric Ten Hag, once it comes to the Manchester Derby, you don't even have to stretch yourself to watch the entire game, because you can almost predict the result. You can already know that probably at halftime you'll be seeing Man City leading by 3 goals to nil, maybe an Haaland hat trick or something, and the likes. But I think it's been a different Manchester Derby over the past.
But the principal thing, do you imagine Rashford on attacking trial? I'm talking about on Manchester United attacking trial. This that
Yeah.
was yes this derby. How will you complement that if you see? Let's assume Rashford is there and what he's doing in Aston Villa now. Just assume that he transferred that to Manchester United. Don't you think that would have given Manchester United a very good boost in the attacking line?
Well, I think it most definitely would. It most definitely would. But you see, the thing with Marcus Rashford this season, yeah, is I think I was having this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and he was saying, look at what Marcus Rashford is doing at Aston Villa and all of that. Only for me to sit down and later go through the statistics of Marcus Rashford, the chances that that he has created at Aston Villa so far, he didn't even create up to half of that in Manchester United, despite playing. He played at least enough games in Manchester United and he wasn't able to create any chance. But now at Aston Villa, he's scoring goals, he's creating assists, and all of those things. I was telling him that first of all, it is because of Unai Emery is a no nonsense man.
Mhm.
Rashford can go there and do some of the things he's doing at Man United. He can't. He can't. Everyone knows Unai Emery is a man of high standards, a very disciplined man to the core. He comes out and smiles with you, with that his smile, and then behind the scene, he doesn't mind hitting you with the rod, right? So I think the environment, first of all, is different, and number two, the pressure. The pressure. United has a pressure that can be compared to any club. The pressure of United is more than the pressure of Real Madrid. Look, first of all, I think Rashford this season mentally was not in the field to deal with that pressure. But it doesn't still, take away the fact that the attacking talent or the attacking, brilliance that Rashford brings to that United team is something else. But the good thing is, there have been one or two conversations here and there, rumors per se, spreading about Manchester United, going in to sign Victor Osimhen. In fact, according to some reports, United have started negotiating with Victor Osimhen's agents. They've reached out to his camp already. They've also reached out to Napoli. We are hearing around 75 million and the likes. So Bruno Fernandes created so many chances yesterday. In fact, he won the man of the match, creating so many chances, but there was no one to
To
convert.
convert.
And yeah, so adding Victor Osimhen, to United would actually make a whole lot of difference. And if United were to add a Victor Osimhen to that squad, I don't think there will be a need for a Marcus Rashford anymore.
Well said. Let's turn our attention to the top four. Don't you think this top four now is even more tighter than even the title race? Because we have like 4 or 5 teams still possible that they could make that top four. We have Chelsea on 53 points. We have Man City on 52 points. We have Aston Villa on 52 points. We also have Newcastle on 50 points. Then we have Fulham. So Fulham is on 48, but I don't think Fulham can also still make that top four if they push harder. And let's assume those ones ahead of them fumble. They can still make it somehow. Don't you see that top four is
Yeah,
kind of more difficult to get to? And who do you see at the end of the day? Who do you predict at the end of the day could maybe snatch that ticket?
yeah, the top four race is still very much wide open. In fact, I think I'm loving the top four race as much as I'm loving the La Liga title race right now. It's very interesting, and the fact that it has to do with Manchester City makes it more interesting. Normally, Man City would not be in this conversation,
Exactly.
but it's very interesting seeing them in this conversation. Like you rightly said, the Premier League is done and dusted. Nobody is looking at that one anymore. But for this top four race, to be honest, Chelsea, Manchester City, Newcastle United, Fulham, all of these teams, these are teams that on a good day, you would say, okay, they should be able to put up one or two good performances. But if you look at the run of fixtures left, we've got about 6, 7 games left to the end of the season. If you look at the run of fixtures, I don't think they've got. I think Man City have a much easier fixture. I think they have a much easier fixture compared, to other teams. I think Chelsea is still going to have to face Manchester United. I think they're still going to have to face Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think they've also got Arsenal. I'm not sure, but Chelsea still has one or two, tough fixtures per se. But at the end of the day, I still think the minimum Pep would do is to qualify, to finish in the top four. So, in terms of my prediction, I would give Manchester City that chance ahead of everybody to finish in the top four. Chelsea will finish fifth, Newcastle sixth behind them. I would have said Nottingham Forest would fumble, but let's just say for sentiment's sake, it would not be so nice for them to be in the top three all throughout the season, only for them to lose out.
To lose out.
By
That minute.
yeah, yeah. So I would say Nottingham Forest would still remain third. Manchester City would be able to finish fourth, and then Chelsea fifth behind them. Newcastle United sixth, and then the rest of the teams can battle out for whatever position. Although Manchester City might have something up their sleeves and say, you know what, why don't we just focus on winning the FA Cup. I think if they are to win the FA Cup, yeah, that would be a straight ticket to the Champions League as well. If they finish fifth and they win the FA Cup, that is still a straight ticket to the Champions League for them. So it might all be, part of the plan.
But do you
So
think
regardless,
Pep still have a chance to win a silverware this season, regarding the
Oh,
FA
of
Cup
course,
and
of course, of course. All they just need to do is to get to the final. All they just need to do is get to the final. As long as it's not Eric Ten Hag in the final, Pep should not be worried. Yeah.
So you mean it's only Eric Ten Hag that can stop Pep from winning a final,
Of,
isn't
of,
it?
of course. Of course, of course. He met him in three finals. He lost two. So yeah.
Oh, okay, as we wrap up the principal thing, you know you mentioned the La Liga. So let's just wrap up with that. Real Madrid, Real Madrid lost to Valeria, right? On Saturday, and we're thinking that Barcelona will capitalize and also take the lead, stretch it to 6 points, but Barcelona had to now draw. So, do you still think that race is still open? But because Ancelotti, hello, can you hear me? The principal thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
And
with you.
Ancelotti, after the post-match interview, the Ancelotti was saying, "Well, I think the thing is the La Liga title might be gone. They will just be doing their thing, but they don't think they have any hope again to win that La Liga, and probably they might just focus on the Champions League, and also they are also in the Copa del Rey final also. So, what do you make up of it? Do you think Real Madrid can still catch up with Barcelona with a few games left?
Of course they can. Ancelotti is just trying to play mind games. He's just trying to play mind games. For come on, it's we're talking about the La Liga title race here. Just 3 points behind.
They are four
Three or
points
4 points
behind now.
behind. 4 points. Yeah, behind Barcelona, and you are telling me they are writing of that race. All they just need to do is ensure, and I think they are still going to play
They're still going to play
Barca. If I'm
themselves.
not
Yeah, they're still going to play themselves. Yeah.
yeah. Of course. So everything is. In fact, even Atletico Madrid, I have to say, we should not write them off. They are just 7 points behind, and
Behind.
7 points is 3 games. You need to lose 2 games and draw one, and you've lost out 7 points already. So Atletico Madrid, we're still not writing them off. We're still not writing them off because if peradventure, when the El Clasico comes and both teams and the game ends in a draw, Atletico Madrid is able to win. They reduce the deficit to 4.
True.
You understand? So it's still very much open. So Ancelotti is just playing mind games. Just play mind. And the truth is, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Real Madrid has ever won a treble before. And this could be one of those seasons where they could have a shot at winning the treble.
So do you still think Real Madrid can win the Champions League, the La Liga, and also the Copa del Rey?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would determine is the Copa del Rey final first. If they get to win the Copa del Rey final, then we can say okay, maybe they can start having hopes of imagining a treble. That is if Barcelona would let them go on and win the league. The Champions League first, they need to first pass Bottling FC on Wednesday. Happy Tuesday. By the time
That's
they pass
Arsenal.
Bottling, yeah. But when they get past the NFC, and then we can now know their next phase. But regardless, for Real Madrid, we know Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a club that, come on, you never say die even to the last moment. It's still very much open. Real Madrid can still go on and win almost every trophy available. But at the same time, I think they've faltered when you least expect. When you least expected. So I think that is also part of the reason why I'm not so confident that Real Madrid can do the treble. Obviously, I'm not even imagining them winning any treble because they've faltered when you least expected.
I think this is a good place for us to leave today's show. We've run out of time, the principal thing. Thank you so much for your great analysis always on this show, and I want to wish you a great day ahead.
All right, then. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. That's the size of our show this morning. I'm Abel Sunday from me and the entire team right here in Abuja. I say goodbye.